It was a beautiful, sunny day. Little Miss Dee and her friends had just finished watching an exciting episode of her favourite TV show, Doctor Who. I would love to travel in time and space like the Doctor, but I can't without a TARDIS, she said to her friends. The Doctor had a time machine in the shape of a 1960s British police box. Suddenly, she heard a faint but familiar wheezing, groaning noise. The TARDIS! I have to find it, she shouted, and with that, Little Miss Dee set off over the hills. Little Miss Dee first checked the Weeping Angel graveyard. No sign of the TARDIS, only weeping angels lived there. Uh-oh, she whispered. Little Miss Dee backed away slowly and tried not to blink. Little Miss Dee then checked the Zygon cave. Still no sign of the TARDIS, only Zygons lived there. They tried to negotiate a peace deal so they could live happily amongst the humans. Uh-oh, not again, thought Little Miss Dee. That's one for the Doctor, as she left quietly. Finally, Little Miss Dee checked the Cyberman spaceship. Again, no sign of the TARDIS. Only Cybermen lived there. Delete, the Cybermen shouted. Ah, she cried, and ran away as fast as she could. Little Miss Dee was about to head home when she spotted a strange-looking gadget on the ground. It was a vortex manipulator. Cheap and nasty time travel, she muttered. She really didn't want to rip holes in the fabric of the universe, but perhaps one trip wouldn't hurt, she thought to herself. Little Miss Dee grinned. Here goes, she shouted. There was a big flash. Little Miss Dee found herself in a very strange place indeed.
Do you mind? It's a little bit embarrassing in front of Adam.
Oh, sorry.
Hi, Adam. So I'm a little bit stuck. Would you be able to give me a hand by drawing a TARDIS?
Sure, no problem.
Awesome. The Doctor Who Roger Hargreaves books are out today. There are links on where you can get them in the description below. Adam, would you be able to give us a brief history of the Mr. Men?
Sure. My dad created the Mr. Men in 1971, a very long way back in time. I, previous to that, had asked him one of those impossible questions that children like to pose to their parents. And my impossible question was, what does a tickle look like? And my dad actually came up with an answer in the form of Mr. Tickle, and he was the first character that he created.
Oh, I love Mr. Tickle. Mr. Tickle was definitely one of my favourites, along with Mr. Bump, I think.
Oh, Mr.
I like
Bump,
the colours.
Mr. Bump is my favourite.
Can you tell us about the Doctor Who Roger Hargreaves books? I
was approached last summer and asked whether I'd like to be involved in a project of combining Mr. Men and Doctor Who, which I have to admit to start with I was a little sceptical about because it was a strange request. But once I got started on it, I suddenly realised what a good idea it was. Well, I feel really quite privileged actually, and I think it's an amazing accolade to my Dad's idea that Mr. Men has reached that sort of level of fame and been around that long that it's become sort of iconic. And in a way, well, certainly in my mind, they're almost of a similar generation. There's an awful lot of the 1970s in Mr. Men, and there was a fair bit of Doctor Who was the 1970s as well.
So when it comes to designing a Doctor, how do you decide on the shape and the colour?
It's completely determined. Well, certainly the shape of the character is determined by the reference photograph I've got of whichever Doctor it is. It's trying to find a characteristic in their face that I can then somehow turn into a Mr. Man, which is not always that easy. Some of them have been much easier than others. It helps with the likes of Tom Baker that he has a hat and a scarf because it gives me something to start with.
Well, I love what you've done with me, drawing me. I mean, the hair is perfect, the colour just makes sense, and the little cheeks as well, the little smile. It's you look at that and you go, yeah, that is definitely Little Miss Dee.
Well, I'm pleased I was able to get something you liked. I was a little bit afraid doing a caricature of somebody as a Mr. Man, that it's not exactly the most flattering way of drawing somebody.
Yeah, just picking up from Mr-menising things, was there anything in the Doctor Who universe that you were particularly excited about drawing?
Well, I guess it would have to be the Daleks, because to my mind they're sort of almost the most iconic bit of the whole series. So it was fun drawing the Daleks. Although strangely, the Daleks actually, because they're quite a simple shape, were one of the more simple baddies to translate into a Mr. Men style. There you go, Christel.
Oh, wow. TARDIS. Thanks, Adam. Oh, see you soon. Bye.
Little Miss Dee was very happy with her TARDIS. Now she could go on adventures just like the Doctor. So, all of time and space, where do you want to start? The end.
Well, not the end actually. You can buy the Doctor Who Roger Hargreaves books now. Links in the description. Bye!